Idaho Matters podcast is brought to you by St. Luke's On Demand Virtual Care, which allows patients to see a provider from their home using a computer or smartphone with on demand care for common ailments such as a cough, sore throat, or a sinus issue. More information at stlukesonline.org. Idaho lost more than 2,000 farms over a 5-year period. Idaho Matters wants to know how that's impacting farmers, cities, and counties. Listen to our series on farming called Land and Legacy. Episodes available on Monday afternoons through November 17th in the Idaho Matters podcast feed. From the studios of Boise State Public Radio News, I'm Gemma Gaudette. This is Idaho Matters. Boise Contemporary Theater, Treefort Music Fest, the Idaho Shakespeare Festival. These are just some of the past entities that have held the title of Boise Cultural Ambassador, a job the city describes as acting as the honorary representative to the world. Story Night was the ambassador until last month when the baton was passed to the Boise Philharmonic. Now, the award comes from the city's Department of Arts and History Department, as well as the mayor's office. So today, Mayor Lauren McLean and Boise Film Music Director Eric Garcia are joining us to talk about this more. Hello to both of you.
Hello.
Hello, thank you for having us.
It is a pleasure. So, Mayor, let me start with you. What does a cultural ambassador do?
Sure. And thanks so much for having us to talk about something that I just find so exciting because we get to highlight such great cultural institutions in our community. The role of a cultural ambassador for the city of Boise, the program, I should say, is designed to share our city's creative and unique community with other cities across the globe. And I'd say other cities across the state too, right? And the Boise Phil, as this year's cultural ambassador, will do that. They'll engage with different audiences through the expression of our culture and help us develop, document, research, share, and reflect on Boise's cultural life. And they help us bring so many more people together and really encourage all of us as Boiseans to think about who we are and how we experience community and culture together.
So, Mayor, what was it that led you to choose the Boise Phil as the next ambassador for the city?
Well, I want to say too, every time we do this, which is every 2 years, we get, anywhere from 10 to 15 applications. So it's not an easy decision. But I chose the Boise Phil this year because as Idaho's largest and longest standing professional orchestra, I would say they present world-class performances. They, of course, commission new works, and they deliver education and community programs that are reflective of Boise. And I particularly like how in the last several years, they have really focused, from my perspective, on how to make the Philharmonic and the experience of the Philharmonic more accessible to more people in our city and around.
So, Eric, tell me about what it was like to get word that the Boise Phil was chosen to be the cultural ambassador.
Oh, it's an incredible honor. And so we were all absolutely thrilled, very, very humbled. Obviously, we're following in the footsteps of some of our brother and sister organizations. So we could not be more thrilled. But it comes with it a great duty. And it's something that we've been very proud of for our 65 plus year history. And everything that Mayor McLean just said is so very true. It's we are very Boise rooted, but we strive to reach the state, strive to reach the country, and strive to reach out into the world.
So, Eric, you mentioned 65 plus years of the Boise Phil. Can you give us just a little bit of history of your organization?
It's a very interesting history, one that I learned early on because it far surpassed what I assumed. We're 65 years old, as we know ourselves to be the Boise Phil, but we actually go back to the late 1800s, the 1890s, I believe. And a group of civic leaders and musicians got together and formed the Boise Philharmonic Society and kept performing and kept growing, and over time became one of the Northwest's leading professional orchestras. And so once we became the Boise Philharmonic around 1960, we continued to grow and get more support from the city, from the state. And over those 65 years, we've developed the Boise Phil Youth Orchestra, this robust educational program. We developed or helped develop the Boise Phil Master Chorale, and they are in their 50th year anniversary this season, which is exciting. And we've just continued to grow alongside Boise. And I think that really ties us to the city in so many ways. Boise has grown in such a rapid pace, and we are doing our best to keep up and reflect the city's growth.
So, Mayor, as you mentioned, this is a 2-year commitment. So, talk to us about what comes along with that. I mean, what does the city ask the ambassador to do during this tenure?
Sure. Well, while they're the cultural ambassador, we've got several goals. We want to raise awareness. We want them to raise awareness in the community and beyond of their organization, to raise awareness of cultural activities that they're offering the community, and to expand the impact of their organization within our community. And we encourage them to promote Boise's cultural life in other cities. So what we ask of them is while they're doing those things, at the end of it, that they share with us the activities that took place, the things they did while they were ambassadors, the impact that the role had on their organization, and the benefit, if you can quantify the economic benefit that the activities brought to the city, as well as any other activities, events, promotions, publicity they have. I mean, that's a long list, but the short of it is, we want them to create as many opportunities for Boiseans to experience the art that they offer, which here it's the Boise Phil, and also to take that beyond Boise and help us tell the story of the city that we are, a safe and welcoming city for everyone that embraces culture, arts, and history as a way to deepen the connections we have to each other.
So, Eric, that's no small task. So, what are you planning
No,
now?
Get to work, Eric. Get to work.
Yeah, come on, Eric.
Don't worry.
I hope you started yesterday. But in all seriousness, I mean, what are you planning as the ambassador?
Well, I think what we'll see is a continued expansion of our educational offerings, as we've spoken about, including the Boise Phil Youth Orchestra program, which, like I said, is already robust, but it continues to grow, which is a great indicator that there are more and more young people that are excited to play in an orchestra, play with other young musicians. Expanding our family concerts, which really introduces kind of first time people to classical music and young people together in the same hall to classical music, and continue to take our music out into the classrooms. And these expansions, I believe, will expose students to the concepts of an orchestra. What is an orchestra? What is classical music? What does that mean? And I think they'll see the rewards of the teamwork involved in what we do. What we do is so incredibly unique, playing in this small and sometimes, very large ensemble. What is that teamwork like? What does it result in? And how does it affect other people? We are already involved in very rewarding collaborations with other local arts organizations, but we will no doubt continue to expand those and think of bigger and greater ideas. And what I love about these collaborations is it's a bit like a Venn diagram. We start to see, oh, well, we're bringing our patrons, our fans, and they're bringing theirs, and we're starting to build these crossover opportunities. So we want to expand our audience, but we hope to expand their audiences as well. We're excited about what it's going to do, well, what it's going to do for us, but I think we're also very excited about what it could mean for our fellow arts organizations. We're all in this together, which is exciting. And the creation of new music. So something that I've been very involved in with the Philharmonic is commissioning and co-commissioning new music by American composers. This really puts you in the bloodstream of other orchestras around the country. If you're involved in a co-commission, you are grouped together with 10, 20 other orchestras around the nation coming together to pull your resources to allow this person to create a new work of art. And that's incredibly gratifying.
Mm-hmm. And Mayor, can you talk a little bit more about that in regards to the fact that the program is designed to share Boise's cultural and creative community? I mean, we're talking with cities all across the world. and to really foster that connection with audiences. Why is that such an important component for Boise to connect like this?
I think it's important because as we seek to tell the story of who we are, both locally and around the country, the more we can partner with organizations, businesses, others in our city to do that, the better off we all are. And this cultural ambassador program, it's designed to share our creative community with others. And it's my hope that in the sharing with others, the folks that call Boise home, that are part of the Boise Phil, that are part of these other arts institutions as well, come back with more as well, that then they can share right here at home with all of us.
Mm. Before I let you both go, Eric, what are you, I guess, most looking forward to about holding this position? But also, what feels like the most challenging aspect of it as well?
I think it's just that. It's really thinking about how can we continue to reach out beyond our borders, the borders of the Treasure Valley, the borders of the state, and make a contribution that can affect orchestras and musicians around the country. We have many ideas on how to do that, how to set standards in our programs, how to be a beacon of having a really unified board, staff, and group of musicians who are creating something beautiful. I think we can be an orchestra that sets a pace or a tone in the Pacific Northwest and beyond. There's no shortage of ideas, always ideas in the world, but it's how do we execute them? So I'd say that's the hardest thing. I would say that what I'm most excited about is retaining our Boise roots while we do this, because when I think about the members of the orchestra who play in front of me, many of them are from Boise and attended Boise schools, played in the Boise Phil Youth Orchestra, and even studied with members of the Philharmonic. And that
Mm.
is truly special and unique. That does not happen in every community. That's very unique to Boise. So we have those roots there, but we also want to be international in scope. So we want to bring in guest soloists from around the world. We want to play music that is international in scope. So it's finding a way to kind of bridge those two sides of the coin, if I can mix my metaphors there, to
Mhm.
really find the perfect balance of being true to Boise, but also looking out into the world.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking time to talk with us about this. Really appreciate your time. We've been talking with Boise Mayor Lauren McLean and Boise Film Music Director Eric Garcia. The Philharmonic has been chosen as Boise's new cultural ambassador. This is the Idaho Matters podcast. I'm Gemma Gaudet.
Sources and methods, the crown jewels of the intelligence community. Shorthand for how do we know what's real? Who told us? If you have those answers, you're on the inside, and NPR wants to bring you there. From the Pentagon to the State Department to spy agencies, listen to understand what's really happening and what it means for you. Sources and Methods, the new national security podcast from NPR.